welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies might have inspired it. And today on the show, we are talking about a bunch of trailers for movies coming up this month, July 2025. Jason Harris is with me from Awesome Movie Year, as we do at the beginning of every month, or the end of the previous month, however, that kind of works out. But we do the whole puzzle pieces format, but just on movies that we've only seen trailers for so far, and just kind of guess some puzzle pieces and see if we can kind of figure out what these movies are going to be like. And then we'll see when we get to them. Maybe we'll cover some of these movies on regular episodes and see if I was right about some of the stuff. So that's what we're doing today. Before we get to it, I do want to remind you, as always, to make sure you are subscribed to Piecing It Together wherever you listen to podcasts. And before we get to it, I want to get into some listener puzzle pieces. That's right. We got a whole bunch of them this month. So let's see. What do we got? God, where do I start? Okay, let's start with Bring Her Back, which I got some from a couple of people. Demetrius Sanders said Gretel and Hansel and Friday the 13th. And honestly, both of those are great, but especially I should have brought up Gretel and Hansel. I mean, that definitely has that kind of a feeling to the movie, and I love that movie so much. So great ones there. William Riel mentioned A Dark Song, which I had never heard about, but I was reading the synopsis, and it definitely sounds like a similar setup. So I might have to check that movie out because I really loved Bring Her Back. Moving on to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Jason from Binge Movies said Event Horizon, and I was so annoyed when he said that because I had thought of that in the movie theater, but I didn't want to pull out my phone and write it down. I was too engrossed in, Tom Cruise running and jumping and doing the things he does. So I didn't write it down and I forgot about it. But yes, the whole core with the AI crap, all that stuff, like it totally reminded me of that whole thing in the middle of the ship in Event Horizon. So great stuff there. I love it. Moving on to Dogma, we have from Josie DeMarco. She mentioned Monty Python's Life of Brian. We did bring up some Monty Python, so absolutely. Oh God from 1977, which I have actually never seen. I've always wanted to, and I feel like is a movie that I would probably love. So I'm sure that's a really fun one. And William Blake's poem, Marriage of Heaven and Hell, which we all know I'm not much of a reader, so I don't know. But probably a great puzzle piece from Josie, I'm sure. But also from Dogma, as far as movies that Dogma might have itself inspired, because of course, with that episode, we were doing a little bit of both ways on that. So Josie also mentioned two novels, Chuck Palahniuk's Damned and What in God's Name by Simon Rich. And I have actually read a couple of Chuck Palahniuk's books. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. I'm probably pronouncing it very wrong. But I have not read Damned, so I'm not sure about the story on that one. I'll have to check out what that one's all about. And then What in God's Name? I don't know what that one is. But you know what? It's got the word God in the title, so it probably fits quite well. So let's move on to Materialists. So first of all, my guest on the episode, Jennifer Howell, had put out a call that if anybody could come up with any puzzle pieces for the whole caveman wraparound story. A couple of people had mentioned Encino Man, but I feel like even though I haven't seen that in many, many years, it might be a little bit too out there of a pull, it just tone-wise. But Joe Black mentioned Cave Girl, which I have never seen, and he said there's a very good chance that I will think it's terrible, but I really want to watch it after seeing the poster that he sent me. So I'm going to have to check out this movie Cave Girl. I'm guessing it probably not that much like Materialist, but hey, you never know. Maybe it is. And then I got from a couple other people for Materialist, three other people actually. Rachel Wagner mentioned Metropolitan, Souvenir Part 1, and 500 Days of Summer. So I have not seen Metropolitan, but I know like of it, and I mean it's definitely within that exact, sub genre of rom-com or romantic movies in general. So definitely, I've never seen the Souvenir movies, so I'm not sure about that one, but 500 Days of Summer definitely fits so well in there. So great one there. Eric Langberg mentioned rock Hudson. I had to write this down. Rock Hudson comedies where how could it be that this impeccably dressed and groomed handsome man could be so unlucky in love like Pedro Pascal? Relationships with women, winky face. I absolutely get what Eric is getting at there, and I think it's a very apt point. So definitely a good one to include. And then back to Josie DeMarco, brought up, speaking of Kevin Smith and Dogma, brought up Clerks 2 because she said that Rosario Dawson's character says that marriage is about the economy, which is a major theme in Materialist. So definitely. Clooney Brown, My Man Godry, and Shop Girl. I haven't seen those first two, but Shop Girl, I haven't seen since it came out, but I really liked it back then, and definitely I could see that fitting really well. I should revisit that movie sometime. But that is, I believe, yep, that is all of our listener puzzle pieces for June. A lot of them this month. Very happy with that. I'm always happy to hear from people with any puzzle pieces they have. So in the month of July, if you think of any puzzle pieces for any movies we cover, please send them in and I will read them next month. And with that said, let's get to our July trailers. All right, Jason Harris is here for another month of trailers. How's it going, Jason?
Dave, you know me. Lots of times I like to say everything sucks. But guess what, Dave? These trailers made me excited. Summer movie, usually down around that time, but I'm feeling good today, baby. Woo!
That's very exciting to hear. I actually prepped for this episode over a week ago, and I can't remember any of the movies that are on this list, but I'm sure my memory will be jogged as we start getting into it.
That's not to say that all of these look good, but a few of them. I mean, there's one that I'm like, I didn't even want to watch the trailer because I just want to go see the movie.
Hell yeah, I'm all for that. Let's take a look back at June really quick, see what we watched, what we covered, all that kind of stuff. Ballerina, first of all, from the world of John Wick. I love this movie so much. It is exactly what I want from an expansion of the world of John Wick. You haven't seen 3, 4, or this yet,
yeah,
right?
And thankfully, Dave, with Awesome Movie Year 2014 and your pick coming up, I'll just spoil it, John Wick. I've seen 1 and 2, but I'll rewatch the whole, thing. And there's the John Wick experience out here, which I flirted with acting in for a minute and still might. We'll see. But, most people are just on Ballerina. But I know why you liked it, Dave. Ballerina, I come to see you. Just to do the Elton John voice as much as you can.
Thank you. He was doing that before we started the episode.
But I was doing a different song.
Yeah. So next up is The Phoenician Scheme, the new Wes Anderson movie, which I'll just tell you right now, me and your buddy Josh Bell will be recording our Best of the Year so far episode in sometime later this week. This is probably my number one at this point.
You know what, Dave? You and I don't agree on a lot, but we agree on this. This is my number one up to this point this year. Awesome. I loved it. It's, the description of Wes Anderson's live action cartoon is probably the best way to put it. It's just fun. The whole thing is just so much fun. I really love this movie.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. And as you know, I wasn't that big on his last 2 movies, so I'm really happy to be back to it's Wes. He's awesome, and I'm super excited for that movie. I can't wait to see it again.
Is the credit sequence at the beginning the most memorable shot? That's a pretty cool sequence shot there.
Pretty great stuff. Yeah. All of it's great. There's so many great things. So.
I just really liked it. I would like to see it again too. But yeah, my number one as well right now. So.
The Ritual was up next, which I had mentioned I was super excited for at the beginning of the year. Then the trailer came out, and I didn't even go and watch this movie because everybody says it's terrible.
Was this the Pacino one?
Yeah.
I did get to do my Pacino impression on stage last week, so that was exciting. Nice. And I prefaced it by saying it's the mechanics of it are better than the actual impression. So that was
very
fun.
Good.
Yeah,
very good.
That's right.
Maybe I'll see it eventually. Next up was Straw, which was that the Tyler Perry movie?
That's the one on Netflix with Taraji P. Henson, right?
Okay, yeah. He's in a little hot water now ever since this trailer.
He is?
Yeah, I think there's some Me Tooing happening.
Really? Of Tyler Perry?
Yeah.
I didn't hear any of that. Do I have to say occur to that?
So, yeah, sure.
I mean, we have a new Tyler Perry movie we're discussing this month. I didn't know any of this stuff.
He's never going to slow down, so it's okay.
I'm glad he's not going to slow down. I mean, he's not... I've not seen many, if any, Tyler Perry movies, but thank goodness there are alternative options out there than just what we get over and over again. Because
Absolutely.
now we can
Absolutely.
get Tyler Perry doing what he does over and over again.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Predator Killer of Killers is up next, which I heard is great. I have not gotten a chance to see yet.
Yeah, top of my watch list too. Man, we are in lockstep today, Dave. It's a
Oh,
good thing we
yeah.
slept in one sleeping bag together last night. Look at what it did to us today.
You're absolutely right. Next up
Head
is
to
Deep
toe, if
Cover.
anyone's wondering.
Next up is Deep Cover, which this is another one of those movies on these lists that I'm like, what was
No,
this? All I remember is the original.
I'm going to
But
watch this. This has
yeah.
nothing to do with the original. I'm excited. This is the one about the 3 improv actors who go undercover.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
yeah,
totally. I
yeah.
have my list of things I need to catch up on. Last month it was like Freaky Tales, Ballad of Wallace Island, Deep Cover. This month, baby.
All right, very good. Well, you'll let me know how it is. How to Train Your Dragon, the live action remake, is up next, which, love or hate these remakes, it made a shitload of money.
Deep Cover is what you might have described us as last night when we were sharing that sleeping bag. I
And
have no.
How to Train Your Dragon fits as well.
Good one. So, I have no desire to see this film, and I
Yeah.
hate all these. And fuck you.
Beautiful. Materialist is the most recent episode of Piecing It Together at this moment, and it's great. Anybody who does not like this movie, I just think that I don't know, they're ganging up on it for whatever reason. There's a whole online discourse around not liking it, and I think they're just going along for the ride.
Is it like, oh, new female director? Blah.
Uh-huh.
She's made 2 good movies in a row. Blah.
Yeah.
Past Lives was top 3 for me when it came out that year. So I haven't gotten to Materialist yet, but I'm glad that you love it, and it will certainly be appointment viewing for me sooner than later.
Absolutely. Echo Valley is up next. What the hell is
Echo Valley is the one with Julianne Moore and Sydney Sweeney by the writer of Mayor from Easttown. This is all off of memory, dude. I'm good
You're
to go.
good.
Yeah.
Your brain is working.
I
this
still
month.
want to watch that one, so
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I wanted to watch that too. Maybe I'll get to that soon. Elio is up next, which is not doing too well in
The
box
end of
office.
Pixar.
It seems like it, but I think it's getting good reviews though, so maybe it'll find its audience eventually.
It's the same guy who did Luca, right? And I love
Yeah.
Luca, but I think this is, one of those like troubled productions where they are like, changing the story midway around, and I don't know. It's just got no, as the kids say, Dave. This one doesn't have any Riz going on right now.
Ooh, yeah, very true.
And as
very
you know,
true.
I'm a Riz daddy, so I can make these things. So
Yes, absolutely.
sometimes if I'm really feeling spicy, I can be a Riz zaddy.
Mm-hmm.
Got you on that one.
Jason, I'm going to need that good brain of yours for everything going to be great. What the hell is that?
Everything's going to be great. Was that the Bryan Cranston one where he?
Boom! You are just knocking them out of the park.
Yeah,
today.
this is all
Wow.
just top of the dome, bro. You want to go? You don't want a freestyle battle right now because I'll bury you, son. So,
oh wow,
another theater movie. I don't think we had access to it this month, but I obviously, as an actor, a thespian, Dave, I will be watching this at some point in time.
Very good, very good. Bride Hard, I don't think it's making any noise. I did not plan on seeing. I know you did not plan on seeing
This
either.
is 15 years too late, right? This should have
Yeah,
come
it
out when
seems
the
like
Heat
it.
came out or whatever. So,
Yeah, exactly.
we talked about that Kirsten Dunst one, that the Bachelorettes or whatever. That was an amazing kind of thing because no one had heard of it in America, and then it just made a ton of money overseas, whether it was VOD or DVD. And like this feels like that belonged back there.
Fair enough. And last up was F1, which is not out yet. We're recording this a few days before the end of the month, and comes out this weekend. I just do not get the appeal of racing movies. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Talladega Nights is a good one.
Exactly. That's the movie that I would rather watch than this, a comedy, but yeah.
I mean, the races are going to be cool, right? It's Joseph Kosinski, so
he's awesome, and I just have no interest in this movie, but I'm sure I'll see it. It's a big one, so
it is. It's a big, bad, nasty, filthy movie.
I think parts of it were filmed here in Las Vegas.
A lot of it was filmed in Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, so
they did the wet down, bro.
Good for Vegas.
Do you know what the wet down is? I learned about this. I was watching Ryan Coogler on the Criterion Collection in the closet thing, where they're not where you have to come out and announce that you're gay or anything like that, but in the Criterion Closet where you pick movies and talk about why they're important to you. And his was a good episode. A lot of people we've covered on Awesome Movie are like Ozu and stuff, but he was talking about Thief, the Michael Mann movie, which I love. And he was saying it's the first time they ever did a wet down, which is where they wet the streets down so everything looks reflective at night. It's so cool. Nice. So yeah,
very cool.
Interesting to learn.
I like that.
See, guys, I'm not just here to entertain. I'm here to educate as well.
Yes, that is absolutely right. Well, Jason, how can you educate us about Jurassic World Rebirth, our first movie for the month?
I could educate you by saying it's yet another money grab. You know, the winner of this is Steven Spielberg. You know, I think he made $1 billion just on licensing this to Universal Studios when the ride came out.
I'm sure.
The ride is still great. We went on it like last year. Yeah, it's probably the best ride at Universal. You know, everyone says this is like a return to form, right? And supposed to be good again. And it's got ScarJo and Mahershala and someone else.
Jonathan Bailey.
The guy who's in everything now,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, so, exactly.
I like him. He was in Homeland and everything like that, right? That guy? So yeah, he's good.
He's good.
I just saw him. He was in Companion. He played a sleazy Russian guy in Companion.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that is him, huh?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. So the idea is like, these are the most dangerous dinosaurs that ever were. So we had to leave them on this desolate island. And then we're going there because there might be, if you spinal tap them, you can get some type of medical thing for them, right? That's pretty much what it is. So
yeah.
All right. So from the spinal tapping of animals, I'm going to Sweet Tooth, which was a good series on Netflix about hybrids and how there are still humans out there who are trying to capture them and use them for medical experiments to save the world. I guess you could also do The Last of Us for that one. For going to the end of the world, because that's what your job requires, I'm going to Sorcerer, which we covered as The Wages of Fear in 1953. Awesome movie year, but I love Sorcerer, as you know. For the idea, they do seem to be building on the original, which is cool. So I put Alien Prometheus, the last one, on there because of all the references to the original. And lastly, my favorite thing is at the end, these were the dinosaurs that were too dangerous to go anywhere else, so we hid them. I mean, that's a Kumite, bro. We're going to Bloodsport for the ultimate tournament. So
love it. Great stuff there. Yeah, as you know, we talk about many times on Awesome Movie Year. I don't read, but there's a few books I've read, and one of them is the original Jurassic Park. And if I remember correctly, because I read it, over 30 years ago or something, if I remember correctly, there is a segment that was not in the movie about the kind of reject dinosaurs that they created. So I feel like they're kind of taking that and running with it for this one. So I'm using the original Michael Crichton Jurassic Park book as a puzzle piece here. And then the other thing I thought of is Kong Skull Island, the 2017 solo Kong movie where a ragtag team of adventurers go to this unexplored island and come face to face with Kong. This feels like it's got very old school monster movie vibes to it. And that is really all I want. At this point, we know a Jurassic movie can't have a good story. So just give me some fun thrills and I will be happy.
I took my daughter to the original one when they re-released it in movies a few years ago. That was really fun. The other thing I'll say is ScarJo looks jacked in this movie. Yeah. So, I mean, the only thing I can say is this is no offense to like Chris Pratt or Bryce Dallas Howard, but they were not at the level of like Mahershala Ali and ScarJo, probably in star power at that point in time, but also definitely in like critical acclaim. So if both of these great actors are signing on, maybe there's something more that we don't know about.
I hope so.
Who directed this, Dave?
Gareth Edwards, the guy who made The Creator and Rogue One.
Yeah, he's interesting.
Yeah, so
when he doesn't get kicked off of Star Wars movies, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm hopeful for this, even though every Jurassic World movie has been terrible. I'm very hopeful.
I skipped all of them.
Yeah, you didn't miss much. Heads of State is up next on Prime, July 2nd. This is John Cena and Idris Elba. Also Charlotte Copley, Jack Quaid, Priyanka Chopra. It's just a big action comedy about these presidents, basically, that have to be actual action heroes.
President and a prime minister.
Yeah, president and prime minister. Uh, but their backup is like their secret services who are actually doing all the killing. Or I think that's what I was getting out of this trailer. Is that what you saw?
No, what I got is that it's them like doing the murders. Like they
It
have
is
to be
them?
action stars. It's funny because I watched this and like the first like 5 seconds, I was like, ugh. And then by the end, I was like, ugh. Yeah. I'm going to watch this one.
Yeah.
We know John Cena is great at comedy, right? And,
Oh, yeah.
Idris is great at everything. So there's a shot at the beginning. It's a Rambo style shot where they're saying he's the president and he comes up out of the water. You know, it's very Rambo, right? Slow-mo. But it's a clip from his movie. So I did the inspiration that Rambo had on that Tropic Thunder right there, right?
Sure, sure.
I was thinking about the idea of people who are ill-equipped to be leaders, and I'm not going to talk about what we're dealing with in this trash hellscape every day that happens.
Uh-huh.
But I thought of Woody Allen's Bananas, where he becomes the accidental dictator.
Sure.
Something. There's the idea of, hey, we're trying to create political treaties or truces, and then violence upstages everything. And that took me to The Long Shot, the Seth Rogen Charlize movie.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And lastly, presidents doing violence on people. Get off my plane. Air Force One. I didn't even try to do Harrison Ford. Get off my plane.
Both interesting impressions there. I went with the Has Fallen series as far as the president becoming an action hero. And then I put Bullet Train on my list, which I usually use when action...
that every month.
Well, I usually put it when action takes place on a moving vehicle. In this case, it just is kind of the vibe of this kind of dumb, silly, over-the-top action that let's just use everything, very... kind of Jackie Chan influenced, just anything in the scene is an action moment. So
it definitely, yeah. I mean, there is action. I mean, I referenced Air Force One. There's a big kind of seemingly plane, crash or hijacking. And the other thing that, is it looks a lot like The Lost City, that Sandra Bullock one. Just the style of everything looks like that.
Yeah, no, that's true. I feel like a lot of these straight to Prime or Netflix or whatever action movies look like that. But speaking of straight to video action, The Old Guard 2.
That's
yeah,
right.
There you go.
Great podcaster that everyone loves.
Yes, that's right. Netflix, July 2nd, Charlize Theron stars. It's a sequel to this action comedy hit, which I thought was awful. Did you see the first one?
No, and I feel like when I watched this trailer, I really should have watched it because I'm like, wait a second, there are immortals? Is she immortal? There's a whole like kind of lore or mythological element that I'm not aware of. It was really confusing, this trailer.
This is a really interesting like phenomenon where like there's a big reveal at the end of a movie and then it's like, well, fuck it, I guess everyone knows. So it's just going right in the trailer for the sequel. But yeah, that was like the big reveal at the end that they're all immortals and they've been doing this for thousands of years or something like that.
Well, I guess I don't have to watch it now. So.
Yeah. So.
I mean, honestly, this one really confused me. There's the idea of them having to fight a monster or an Uma Thurman somewhere deep into a cave or something. So I thought of The Gorge from earlier this year where, they have to go down into the gorge to fight some type of mythological being. And the only other thing that I had, I mean, Uma Thurman sword fight, you could go to Kill Bill there. I kind of went to Empire Strikes Back for that because they were really kind of copying the lightsaber fight look of that, it looked like.
Yeah, I just went with Star Wars in general. And then I also put Shazam, the DC superhero movie with immortals and all that kind of stuff.
What about the Sinbad movie? Did that actually happen?
It did.
I don't think it did.
No, it definitely did. I'm sure of it.
We're living in parallel universes, Dave.
That's right. All right, moving on to, like you said, another Tyler Perry movie, Medea's Destination Wedding, which will be on Netflix July 11th. Have we done a Madea movie before on these trailers?
Probably. And I call her Madea. Are you wrong? I think you're wrong.
I've never actually seen one, so I'm not sure. I thought it was
neither.
Madea.
And we haven't done one on Awesome Movie Year. And I feel like, my co-host
Josh is gonna love that
Josh.
when we get to that.
I know, but this seems like the type of article that Josh would torture himself to write, right? Like
Yeah,
Madea movies ranked. He loves doing weird stuff like that. So
yeah.
look, I'm glad that these are. Look, we need everything we can get in America right now, film wise, and Tyler Perry's a whole studio unto himself in Atlanta, right? So if
Sure.
California's struggling, at least we have that, and they're successful movies. I don't know. I'm not going to see it probably, but it looks joyous, shall we say?
Yeah, exactly.
Destination Wedding. I once had a pitch for a Destination Wedding movie, but I think that was just an excuse to me trying to go make something in New Zealand.
I'm sure that's what this was too.
Yeah. So, but they just go to like the Bahamas or something.
Yeah, that's still nice.
Yeah, it is nice. Ticket to Paradise. That was probably the last Destination Wedding movie that was out there. Tyler Perry playing 18 characters. That's straight Eddie Murphy in The Nutty Professor.
Mm-hmm.
And Madea, oh, she's sassy. I thought of Dirty Grandpa, Road Trip, and Foul Mouth. Not that Medea's foul mouth, but you never know what she's going to say. Girl!
Oh boy, I went with the National Lampoon Vacation movies, and I went with Mamma Mia. But yeah, this is just I haven't seen any of the other movies of these. I can't imagine I'm going to end up watching this, but I hope the fans of the series love it.
So. Well, if you do listen to Awesome Movie, you know Dave's dedication when he does like full earnest watches, like every earnest movie. So maybe we'll just have to schedule a Madea movie just so Dave will watch the entire catalog of them.
I can't wait. Can't wait. Next up is Smurfs, which will be in theaters on July 18th with Rihanna starring as Smurfette.
Fuck you. Fuck you hard. Fuck you in the face. This looks so bad. I mean, honestly, the trailer it's a picture of Rihanna first. Like, that's the selling point. Like, oh, she was so good in Battleship. That we all need to see her do another movie, right? Like, it's so bad. Like, that's your selling point on this thing. And then, the last line of it is, whoever the bad guy is, which that wasn't Gargamel, but some other name, keeps getting smashed into a wall. And then you go to, I think, the Nick Offerman Smurf, and he's like, now that's what I call a banger. And I'm like, oh, I hate you, and I want to murder you. And my child who loves kids' movies was like, this looks terrible. So fuck this movie. It looks gross. But does this, I know it said Chris Miller directed it. Is it Miller from Lord and Miller?
Yeah, Miller and Matt Landon, who did, I think it was part of the Spider-Verse also.
How is this possible? They're great.
I know.
Maybe we're all wrong, but it looks gross and stupid. They go to the real world, so I put Enchanted, right? That's the thing with your girl Amy Adams, where she's a princess and she goes to the real world. Enchanted. That was pretty good. Trolls, because it just looks like a fucking straight money grab, and like these characters are supposed to be cool even though they're not. And then the whole it's such a weird trailer. I actually wanted him to lean into it. The whole first half of the trailer is just like pictures of them while a Rihanna like kind of dance hall song comes on, and I was like, what if the whole thing is just some type of drugged up fever dream? That would have been cool. And I just thought of those Sacha Baron Cohen and his cohorts in Madagascar when they're singing, I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. This looks like the worst movie of the year.
Yeah, this looks absolutely terrible. I put Barbie instead of You're Enchanted, but same difference. I also put Minecraft or Jumanji or anything else where they're going between worlds. And then because of the kind of hip hop attitude they're giving this classic character, I went with Tom and Jerry, which I love them. I love that movie. I know it's a terrible movie and everybody hated it, but I don't know. It made me laugh a lot.
You could have gone with Sneaks from earlier this year. Sneaks.
Sure, absolutely, But this one, looks just awful. So
don't worry, Dave. It's about to pick up, buddy.
Is it?
To me, it is. I'm kind of excited for the next one, but the one after that is the one I'm most excited.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I know what you did last summer, July 18th in theaters. Now, I will say that one of my favorite movies this year is Final Destination Bloodline. So maybe this will be something. I don't know, but I don't think this trailer really does much for me. Obviously a reboot of the classic horror series, and I don't know. You thought this looked good?
Yeah, I actually did. I remember seeing the first one. I think we were in LA when I was a teenager, LA, and I was with my friend Jake and Brooke, who we were both pining after. And
Mm,
that's a whole nother story.
sure.
But I like the first I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I don't know why they had to make 78 of them after. Of course I do. But I kind of got excited the second, like, old man Freddie Prinze Jr. comes on screen. I was like, yeah. And then, of course, the Jennifer Love Hewitt reveal is there. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And I was just kind of like, you know what? Let's go all in on it, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm writing for the Cruel Intentions remake, see how that goes.
Oh,
But,
sure.
so it's just like the first one. It seems like they accidentally murder someone and they hide the whole, the body. So no one, and that's what the fisherman knows what they did last summer. So I went a different way with that. I went with a simple plan, the idea of, hiding something and then that unravels and ruins your whole life. Little Sam Raimi action right
Hmm.
there. You obviously could go with Scream or Jaws here because it's a small town and there's nothing else to do. And then, of course, they have the original people coming back, so it's very Jamie Lee Curtis in the last Halloween.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I put Scream as well. I mean, it definitely, feels exactly like how they handled the whole requel thing. And then I put the scene in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back where they're redoing Goodwill Hunting, and it's like, are we gonna have to do this again?
Yeah.
It's that whole thing over
Yeah,
again.
I
So
mean, these usually suck, but I was kind of into this one. So,
yeah.
you know.
All right. I hope so. And like I said, I was so surprised by Final Destination. So it's anything's possible with horror nowadays. So next up is Eddington, Ari Aster's new film.
I didn't even want to watch the preview. I
Yeah.
don't I was a little upset that I had to. Like
Hmm.
maybe the number one movie that I'm looking forward to for the entire year at this point in time.
It looks
Oh,
wild. It
I
looks
can't wait.
absolutely wild.
It's going to
Yeah.
be insane. Bo is Afraid was one of my favorite movies 2 years ago or something, top 10 for me. And this, they say, is like the ultimate of the pandemic movies and the first modern Western. I mean, how do you explain this thing? I don't really know, but that's the
Yeah.
beauty of it, right?
It's a very weird looking movie that's difficult to kind of describe. But yeah, like you said, it seems like he's going for like putting a stamp on the idea of a pandemic movie. Like this is the end all of that. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. So what did you have for
I
pieces?
mean, so the last kind of cataclysmic event where they're protocoling and testing people was that I remember, and this felt reminiscent of that in a lot of ways, was White Noise, the Noah Baumbach
Sure.
movie, which yeah, that's probably worth a rewatch. I like that. It was so out of kind of the box for what Baumbach usually does. I don't know if we were all ready for that, or I wonder how that looks now, how that is
I
now.
love that movie. I know it's very different from his other stuff, but I thought it was great.
I liked it too. And then this kind of, I'm guessing it's Texas, but who knows? This small town Texas modern Western. You have to go to No Country for Old Men for that.
Yeah, that was the first thing I put as well. I also put The Purge, although I'm not really quite sure about that. Like it depends where this all goes. And then this isn't really necessarily a puzzle piece, but just a something I wanted to mention. The machine gun scene reminded me so much of the trailer for PTA's new movie that we're going to be talking about
Yes,
in a month, One Battle After Another. It's very weird that they both have such a similar shot.
I
But
know. I noticed
yeah,
that too. I'm excited for both of them, but
yeah.
this one kind of just has me juice. Is Pedro Pascal an A-list movie star at this point in time?
Oh, I think so. I definitely think so. And he's doing I think he's doing too much, but at the same time he's doing a wide variety of stuff, which is good. So,
The
yeah.
reason I ask is because as an actor, he's great, right? Like,
Hmm.
and he always delivers as an actor. And there was like the huge dip in ratings after, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know, but his character was killed off in The Last of Us. So I'm just wondering, is like he like Idris Elba, where you can put him in anything and know that he's gonna sizzle in it, or is he a guy now who you can say like he's the star, like a Joaquin Phoenix, right? Is still a movie star or something like that. So
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with Fantastic Four later this
it
month.
doesn't
But
look good to me.
yeah, but I'm sure he'll be fine in it. But Next up is The Home, which will be in theaters July 25th. This is Pete Davidson in a horror movie, and I think it looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, I have to say so too. I mean, I have no idea. We all thought he was going to be like the next big star, but maybe he becomes like the modern day Scream Queen, right? And that's good
Maybe.
enough, like, and that's cool. Like, I'm all for that,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's this guy, he's an orderly or a nurse or something, and he goes to this home that he lives on the campus of. It's a huge estate or facility, and they treat patients, right? And then they're like, whatever you do, don't go on the fourth floor. They need special care. And of course, they do the murders and stuff like that. I don't really know.
They do something.
So it's a guy who goes to a sprawling manor and descends into madness. The Shining is the first thing you think of, right?
Yeah.
There's definitely a shot of a person falling onto like spiked gates, which is straight virgin suicides right there. The idea of authority abusing patients and also other workers there, as we see, as One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And keeping it with Kubrick, you do get that kind of like eye shot where they keep his eye open to examine him. Who knows what they're making him look at? If anything, that's Clockwork Orange.
There you go. I of course put The Shining as well as my first thing here. The other thing that I put down, is funny you bring up the someone falling onto a spiked gate, because that happens in this movie as well. This is a deep cut, but it's called Dead Dudes in the House. Jason, this movie scarred me for like a decade. When I saw this, I saw it probably when I was like 14 or 15. And it scared the absolute hell out of me. I have basically been scared of old people ever since.
That's exciting.
And yeah, this movie seems like it taps into that exact same fear of old people are creepy, and it's not a good fear to have. I'll tell you that much, especially as we get older.
I mean, I see your parents a lot, and they're old. Are you scared of them?
They're very old, and they're starting to scare me quite a bit.
By the way, I looked up Dead Dudes in the House on Just Watch. There's no record of this as an actual film.
You'll find it also under the name The House on Tombstone Hill. And one day I may watch it. I should just say, it's probably funny, but I did not take it as funny as a 14-year-old. I just thought it was the scariest thing I had ever seen, because I believe it was distributed by Troma, which is what leads me to believe that, this was probably meant to be funny, and I was just a scared kid.
It's definitely not on there, but when we get back in our sleeping bag tonight, if you want to watch it together, I'm down.
That could help me face my fears and finally rewatch this movie. So, let's see, what do we got next? Oh, Happy Gilmore 2, Netflix, July 25th. It's what is there to say about it? It's basically just more Happy Gilmore, but it looks fun. We all love Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, I'm all for this. It's going to be awesome. And I actually think this looks really good, like as one of these like kind of legacy sequels, right? I'm super pumped about it. The first one I had to go to was Top Gun Maverick, because I was trying to think of a sequel that lasted that long. I mean, there's so many references to the original, which I liked. And the idea of an athlete who's fallen on hard times and has to get back to where they were. I went with the coach version of that, which was Ben Affleck in The Way Back, which was a good basketball movie.
It was good.
And lastly, there's a seemingly 7,000 comedy cameos. So I went with It's a Mad, 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 Mad World.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. I put Top Gun Maverick because of the Legacy sequel, and also because the guy comes back and he was the best that ever did it, kind of thing. And then as far as all of the cameos, I put Avengers Endgame, because this feels like the Avengers Endgame of every Adam Sandler movie. It seems like he's got everyone who's still alive back for this thing. So
maybe there should be a Sandler verse movie where like Happy Gilmore has to team up with Zohan to beat Little Nicky and Uncut Gems.
This feels like the start of that, possibly. But I was going to say, I wish this wasn't a Netflix movie. This would have been a fun one to do a live show on, but it is what it is. So,
you can get a nice warm glass of Shut the Hell Up. I'm glad they referenced that again. So,
Our last one for the month is Bambi the Reckoning, and this will be in limited release on July 25th. This is the latest of these IP horror movies, and surprisingly does not look that bad, I think.
I agree. It doesn't even, I'm not even sure it can sustain a feature running length, but as a trailer, they kicked the shit out of it. It looks good as a trailer, right?
Yeah, it looks creepy. It's well shot. It's got good effects. Screamboat was the most recent one of these, which we did do a live show on, and was also it wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. But this definitely looks way above Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which is this is the same producers as.
Yeah. You know what? This wasn't really a piece of mine, but maybe it's going to be. Have you seen the meme of that goddamn kangaroo that looks like it could murder everyone in the world
Yeah,
in Australia? I
yeah,
mean, that Terminator kangaroo meme is definitely one of them here.
yeah.
I put The Wolf of Snow Hollow, which is a good underrated little movie there, little Jim Cummings, where something's going on in the woods and we don't know what it is. The violence woodsy, definitely had an Evil Dead 2 feel to it.
Mm,
And then they literally do the alien shot, don't they?
they
Where
do.
the
Yep.
woman and Bambi come face to face. So, yeah, I mean, speaking of Idris Elba, I never saw The Beast. I know you like that one. So that was my
Yeah.
list there.
The Beast is one I was thinking about putting on mine. I instead went with Cujo, but same idea basically. And then the other thing I put on, I mean, it's just from earlier this year, but Death of a Unicorn. This looks like a much better version of that because that movie sucked, and
That's such a
so
bummer. I remember how we were excited for that
we
one.
were we were both excited for it, but yeah, not good. But yeah, shocked to say that I might actually watch this one. So we will see. I also have two live shows coming up in July on the two big superhero movies of the month. Superman on July 11th. That'll be at Downtown Cinemas, and Fantastic Four: The First Steps at Maya Cinemas on July 24th. Are you looking forward to either of these superhero movies? I know you're superhero movied out,
Yeah,
Jason.
but I do like James Gunn.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I mean, it's everyone says it's so important for the DC universe. I'm like, is it though? You know, they're
Yeah,
just going to
right.
make 20 more of them. But I like James Gunn. He's got Peacemaker's coming back right now too, right? So
Yeah.
going to be a big summer for him. So I'm excited for that. Fantastic Four. I've seen the trailers 8 times. It just looks like another shitty, lesser version of Avengers. Maybe I'm wrong, but Marvel has more than Pixar to me lost its way.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And honestly, like I'm excited for my show and everything, but that movie looks like the worst of the bunch of the recent Marvel movies. So I don't know. We'll see what
If
happens,
I
but
couldn't lean on you to sneak into your event for free, I don't know that I would go to see this one in the theater.
fair, fair. Jason, is there any movies you watched recently you want to recommend to our
Yeah,
listeners?
I don't think did we talk about the Pee Wee Herman documentary?
I don't think so. And yeah, I heard everybody loves that thing.
It's amazing. It's my second favorite movie this year after The Phoenician Scheme, if you count it as a movie. Our co-host on Awesome Movie, or Josh Bell, with his rigid, stringent rules, would not. But I
Hmm.
don't care what he says, Dave. I love this thing. It's like I said, top two for me right now. It gets so deep into his process that you're like, oh, we underestimated what a genius this guy was. That's my favorite part when they go into the details on how he specified everything for Pee Wee's Playhouse and how he built that out in like a warehouse. So it's
Nice.
fantastic. Highly recommended. It's on Max. Sadly, David Zaslav still is too, but watch Pee Wee as himself.
There you go. Jason, what's going on with Awesome Movie Year and your comedy and everything else?
Dave, as of this recording, we have started our new season 2014, which I think, based on our lineup, we're going to look back and be like, hey, I think this year might be underrated in the Awesome Movie Year list, because you think of like 2007 and what was it? Was it 19 when Parasite, or 17? Whenever Parasite came out, people always list that year. But this looks like a really good year. I'm excited for it. We already mentioned your pick, Dave. And
Hmm.
speaking of Marvel, our box office champ, Guardians of the Galaxy. So we start there. James Gunn. Come on, what a tie-in, guys.
There you
So
go.
go do that. Trivia's rocking and rolling. We have 3 or 4 different rooms going right now. Metro Pizza at 6 on Tuesday in the Northwest. Metro Pizza at 6 on Wednesday in Green Valley. Jive Turkey at 7 on Tuesdays. And soon to be the Office Bar also at 7 on Tuesdays. So come out to do that. Comedy-wise, I used to have a career.
Jason, as always, it's great having you here. And I know for our listeners, we're going to be recording a couple more episodes coming up very soon. Isn't that right?
A couple more episodes that probably, speaking of your top 10 list, a few movies that would definitely appear on mine, and I think will probably appear on yours.
Very, very possible. So we'll be talking about those soon. Jason, thanks as always for being here.
Dave, watch The Sleeping Bag before tonight, please.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation about some of the movies coming out in July 2025. Before I get to any of my usual closing stuff, I got to let you know about something else that's happening in July 2025, because I've got yet another The Pup Pups album dropping on July 11th, the same day as Superman, because it's all about my little Superman, Harvey. It's an album called Three Chords and the Pooch, and it is basically a solo album from Harvey. It's all songs either about him, sung by him, and it is so much fun. I'm so excited to release this thing, and I'm telling you about it right now because if you are listening, I am about to close up the pre-order bonus to get your pet included on the bonus song. I will be recording that bonus song on July 1st to finish the album, so that way I can get it out to distributors and all that stuff. So you need to get with me before July 1st if you want to get your pet included on the album. You can do that by pre-ordering the digital, it's $10. Pre-ordering a pack of official Pup Pups tennis balls, which is also $10. You can also order it on vinyl, which is quite a bit more, but that's only for the super fans of the Pup Pups. I understand that not everybody's looking to spend $30-40 on vinyl right now, so that's totally understandable, but the option is there. But the main thing is for $10, either the digital or the tennis ball collection. You will get your pets included on this bonus song on the new The Pup Pups album, Three Chords and the Pooch, which is coming out July 11th. So do it this weekend. Once the first comes, it's too late. Do it this weekend if you want to get your pets included, and you know you want to get your pets included on this one, so do it. So with that said, what else we got going on? You know all the places to follow me and subscribe and leave the comments and all that kind of stuff. You can check the show notes for all that. I do want to shout out that we have a live show on Superman coming up on Friday, July 11th at Downtown Cinemas, and a live show on Fantastic Four, The First Steps. I think it's actually The Fantastic Four First Steps. I'll probably mess that up many times between now and then, but that is coming up Thursday, July 24th at Maya Cinemas. So check the show notes, check piecingpod.com for your chance to enter to win tickets for both of those shows. And let's close this out with a piece of music like I always do. And hey, I just sold you on the new Pup Pups album and getting your pet included on a song. So why don't I help sell you by playing a song off that new album right now? That sounds like a good plan. I'm going to go with a song called Indie Rocking Dog, which is just ridiculous. And I actually name check A24 on this one because Harvey is such an indie little hipster dog. But this song is just a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy it. It's on the new album, and we'll be back with more piecing it together real soon.
He's an indie rockin' dog. Indie rockin' dog. Indie rockin' dog. He's an indie rockin' dog. Indie rockin' dog. Indie rockin' dog. He's an indie rockin' dog. Check him out when they come to your city. On tour, coming straight to your town. If you're going to the show, maybe you can ride with me. I knew him before he was famous, but now he's the coolest dog around. He's an indie rockin' dog. Indie rockin' dog. Indie rockin' dog. He's an indie rockin' dog. Indie rockin' dog. Indie rockin' dog. He's an indie at a trendy restaurant or lounging somewhere on the beach.
An All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.